Sorry, Jennifer Lawrence lost us with this, the summer I turned pretty, take. There are some takes you cannot return from, and Jennifer Lawrence just committed a carnal sin. She revealed which Fisher boys she supports on the summer I turned pretty. And now, she's not on the right side of history. Belly Lola Tung was caught between the Fisher brothers, Conrad Christopher Briney, and Jeremiah Gavin Casalengo throughout the show. And it ended with Belly choosing Conrad. Rightfully so. But for some, they think it was the wrong choice. Lawrence, who is promoting her film Die My Love with Robert Pattinson, weighed in on the discourse. Die My Love stars the two, who have been the topic of their own love triangles in media. Team Edward and Team Jacob from Twilight had full-out wars online, and the Team Peeta and Team Gale side of things were not much better. So Lawrence weighing in on how people are reacting to the summer I turned pretty isn't out of left field. But when she starts by saying her friends told her to not reveal this information, we should have known we were wading into enemy territory. That is if you are in the right and are Team Conrad. I have been ordered by all of my friends to not reveal this, Lawrence said. I'm Team Jeremiah. I am. I think Conrad is toxic. Like he kind of liked her and then he didn't and he left her hanging. First, his mother died. So let's not continue to ignore that Conrad's biggest flaw was that he was grieving and it tanked his relationship. Second, Jeremiah cheated on Belly. And then for him to confess his love to her the night before the wedding is sick. I'm Team Jeremiah, rake me over the coals. This is the problem with people who are Team Jeremiah. To cut Lawrence some slack, she's far from the only one who thinks this way, and it baffles the mind. Jeremiah is selfish, annoying, and he only liked Belly when she was pretty. We see multiple times over how he tolerated her growing up and only really seemed interested in Belly when Conrad showed her attention. It is the epitome of a little brother wanting something because his brother does. The difference here is that it is a woman. But even if Jeremiah's only crime was that, it wouldn't be as bad as him cheating on Belly because he got mad she stayed in a house with his brother. No, they didn't sleep together or do anything wrong, but it was enough for Jeremiah to justify cheating on her. Part of me feels a bit unhinged when someone calls Conrad toxic but ignores all the red flags in Jeremiah, and yet, that's the way the world works. Some people love certain characters, tropes, and we are all different. I just could not be caught dead caring about a man who was so worried about a cake and not how his fiancée was doing with all of the wedding planning on her own. Jennifer Lawrence says, I'm Team Jeremiah, and Conrad is toxic. I know, the summer I turned pretty, fans will rake me over the coals. Jennifer Lawrence is known for being pop culture savvy. Her takes on Bravo's Real Housewives franchise often go viral on social media, but even she is aware her latest hot take is not going to sit right with the internet. While discussing messy relationships with Robert Pattinson as part of their Die My Love press tour, the Oscar winner sounded off on the love triangle at the center of Prime Video's The Summer I Turned Pretty. I have been ordered by all of my friends to not reveal this, but I am Team Jeremiah. I am, Lawrence said. I think that Conrad is toxic. He kind of liked Belly but then didn't. He left her hanging. For him to confess his love for her the night before her wedding is sick. I am Team Jeremiah. Rake me over the coals. The Summer I Turned Pretty, based on Jenny Han's popular book series, centers on Lola Tung's Belly as she's caught between her love for two brothers, Conrad Christopher Briney and Jeremiah Gavin Casalengo. The majority of the fandom is overwhelmingly Team Conrad, which worked out for them as the series finale ended with Conrad and Belly romantically together months after the end of Belly's engagement to Jeremiah. Throughout the airing of the show's final season, which ran from July through the Sept. 17 finale, Prime Video issued several statements advising fans against making toxic social media posts. Casalengo, in particular, became the target of online harassment due to fans wanting Belly to end up with Conrad over his character, Jeremiah. The series reminded fans after the release of the final season's 8th episode that the show isn't real but the people playing the characters are, and posted a graphic that read, "The summer we started acting normal online." We've had similar situations in the past with adaptations, where there is a fanbase out there that I think can get rowdy, and it sometimes can blur the line between characters and actors or overstep, Amazon TV chief Vernon Sanders told Variety about issuing fan warnings. And so we really appreciate them and appreciate their passion, but we're trying to be more proactive about setting expectations of what we want to encourage and maybe what we find not appropriate. And I think our creators and our cast really appreciate us taking the proactive stance there. The Summer I Turned Pretty franchise will return to Prime Video at a later date with a movie designed to wrap up the story. The film will be written by Jenny Han, who wrote the books on which the show was based and developed them for television, alongside Sarah Kucherka. Die My Love, which earned Lawrence rave reviews at Cannes, centers on a married couple come undone after the birth of their child. The film is the latest from We Need to Talk About Kevin and You Were Never Really Here, director Lynn Ramsey. Die My Love opens in theaters November 14 from Mubi. The Summer I Learned My Worth. How TSITP has opened my eyes about dating. I've been a fan of The Summer I Turned Pretty since season 1 came out, and I've been Team Conrad since then too. After all these years, one thing that has stayed consistent throughout is my tendency to be a hopeless romantic. If you're like me who's a sucker for a good rom-com, then you know it's hard not to let it get in your head sometimes. If you couldn't tell by the title of the article, we're about to get very personal. Warning: this includes spoilers for the 3rd season of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Although the characters in the show may be fictional, the love that we watch progress isn't. The love between Belly and Conrad is passionate and all-consuming, it's something that I crave. Their chemistry can be felt through the smallest of moments. Watching their stolen glances or short conversations, I sometimes forget that it's a TV show. Throughout the 3rd season, Conrad joins the hopeless romantic club and is constantly sacrificing his own happiness for Belly's. He helps Belly with her wedding errands despite it emotionally killing him, he convinces Laurel to attend her bridal shower, he leaves food for her in the fridge when he notices her not eating, I could go on. It hurts to watch someone yearn for something they can't have. Seeing how Conrad handles his love for Belly has opened my eyes, he mentally stimulates her and encourages her to be her authentic self. It's taught me that I deserve someone who sees and treats me the same way that he does with her. I've never been in a relationship, situationship, friends with benefits, or what I would consider to be a proper talking stage. And I've definitely never been in love. Don't get me wrong, I've always enjoyed being single, but I want to have this special person in my life who I enjoy spending time with, love waking up next to, and get butterflies thinking about. Part of me has worried that it would be difficult to commit to someone as I constantly find myself having new campus crushes, but that's not the problem. It's that ever since coming to Queens, I've never had enough involvement with a man where I developed real, genuine feelings for him. The last time I had a proper crush was in high school, and it was a borderline obsession. I found myself overanalyzing our every interaction, desperately trying to find my rom-com in real life. It's especially difficult for something like this to develop because of how normalized hookup culture is. Following my most recent experience in this regard, I discovered that I can't partake in it unless there's some form of chemistry, otherwise it feels transactional. In case it wasn't obvious, I've had my fair share of not-so-great experiences with men, the most recent being when I matched with a guy on Tinder. I felt there was a good vibe between us, so I agreed to go out with him, but then I never heard from him again, and there was no date. I typically don't take apps like Tinder or Hinge seriously and have never done more than add them on other social media, let alone agree to go out with them, so to me, this was a big deal. And of course the one time I was willing to take that extra step, it backfired. I tend to find myself being ghosted by guys that I feel chemistry with, but thankfully our only form of contact had ever been through social media. Maybe this was karma for all the times I did that to guys, but I only ghosted them if the conversation felt dry or that it wasn't going anywhere. If there's one thing I've learned after being a loyal TSITP viewer all these years, it's that I won't settle when I get into a relationship. Conrad brings out the best in Belly, he encourages her to express her emotions, and not do anything for anyone else. Dating is a choice, so the person that you choose to be with should positively contribute to your life, rather than drain from it. I deserve to be with someone who truly respects and understands me for who I am, and so do you.